Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining the Fearless Against Fraud webinar hosted by Denim and MCP. I'm your host, Product Sean from Denim, and before we dive in, I'll share a little bit about why we're all here. Freight fraud is an $800 million problem that has been exacerbated by the post-COVID boom and is top of mind for our industry right now. MyCarrierPortal specializes in carrier identity, fraud protection, insurance monitoring, and carrier onboarding, and they know this problem all too well. Denim is a freight factor for SMB brokers and fleets that provides working capital and is out there to save clients time and money in their back office. And every day, the Denim team is in the trenches with our clients fighting fraud. Last month, Denim and MCP announced an integration where brokers who use MCP can link their carrier network to Denim, ensuring that both platforms work together to save our mutual clients time and to use our combined network to fight fraud. So with that, we're super excited to share a walkthrough of that integration today and how we can help you be fearless against fraud. So let me turn it over to our two presenters, Danielle Spinelli, Solutions Engineer from MCP, and Ben Jones, Senior Product Manager from Denim, who led this work for us. Ben and Danielle, take it away.
Hi.
Hey everyone. Thanks, Sean. So for the next 15 minutes or so, we're going to take you all through how MCP verifies and validates carriers and how this integration expedites your job submission and payment process with Denim. So Danielle, could you start by showing us an example of what a bad carrier looks like?
Yeah, definitely. Let me share my screen here. Awesome. So whenever you're on the phone, let's say you're selling a load, kind of first step is to look up that carrier. So collecting their DOT or MC, hitting the search and televite button, and basically looking them up. So we'll pull up a bad guy here. And right away, basically, I can see these guys show unacceptable, unable to invite. Because they are failing my company standards so badly, I cannot even try to set them up. So right away, I'm seeing this. And this guy, for instance, we'll kind of go through it. They have 11 infractions, so basically like 11 red flags. They have different incident reports, so other customers have caught them doing stuff, reported it, and that's being shared throughout. So we can see that as well as their rating. Now the reports, you can read those here. Like these guys looks like they have some theft that happened, and basically toggling through to all the different reports. Now the best part about MyCarrierPortal is that our tool is so that you can prevent becoming that first victim, becoming the person that submits the report in. And prior to all of these red lines that are right here, there were things about this carrier that were already showing. So if I pull up their incident report and I see exactly what is not meeting my company standards, it looks like they're actually getting turned off here now with FMCSA. But let's say before that happened, let's say before they had these reports put in, probably even before the blocking happened, what would have showed up is that the FMCSA contact changes within the last 60 days, as well as their address matching for other carriers. So I can see that right away. Let's say if this was the only thing that was popping up for me. From there, I need to properly vet the carrier and determine whether or not I want to work with them. So with that FMCSA contact changes within the last 60 days, I go to this carrier profile and I go to their carrier change log. And right away, I can see whether or not or what the changes were. For instance, these guys looks like they moved from Tennessee to Indiana. They did have a company ownership change. So with these guys, let's say they had 5 stars, they looked good all the way around. But they just recently had this change happen. So now it's like, well, maybe they were operating the way they're supposed to, but now who knows what's going to happen because there's new owners. The other red flag that would have popped up is that address matching up with other carriers. So right here, I can go view match data, see who all is matching up. And I like to pull it up on a map too, see what kind of address it actually is. So pulling that up on Google Maps, looks like this guy's got a house listed for his address. So the likelihood of 4 carriers operating out of the exact same house legitimately is slim to none. So that's definitely a red flag for me. I can go into these carrier profiles as well and dig as deep as I need to. But basically, I have enough information right here that if I was talking to that carrier, before I would send them the invitation to fill out a packet, I would want to do a VIN verification with that driver. So collect the driver's phone number, and then you'll send them a link. Let me go here. So validate carrier and equipment, and I'm still underneath the carrier profile. Validate VIN. I recommend texting the link to the driver. So this will send a link to the driver, open up his camera. He takes a live photo of his truck showing his VIN number. And then from there, we run it on our side to say whether or not it belongs to this carrier or belongs to somebody else. And in this case, because they had the fraud and the double brokering, this really would have prevented it because more than likely what the driver's sending in will not match up, or if they even send it. A lot of times, if they're doing something they shouldn't, they refuse to send anything. So that would be my first step before I actually put them on a load because they have those red flags. So I'm properly vetting them on my end.
Interesting. So I know that before joining MCP's team, you were a freight broker. What was your experience using MyCarrierPortal, and how did you end up joining their team?
Yeah, so I actually had an instance like right before I, talked to MyCarrierPortal and then ended up coming over here. But I had an instance where something similar where the FMCSA contact changes that popped up. And when I was talking to the carriers, I mean, they seemed totally legit and I was running high value loads. So I was pretty good about vetting people. Like I had some pride. I never had anything stolen from me and I was pretty good at it. So I thought I had a good tune of, hey, I'm listening to this guy and whether or not they sound legit or not. And this guy sounded totally fine. But the alerts that popped up with MyCarrierPortal were the 60-day change FMCSA change within the last 60 days. And that was right whenever that scamming first happened and MyCarrierPortal just added that feature. So I did not know about FMCSA getting hacked. I didn't even know any of that was going on. So the first thing that happened to me was the carrier or the person I was talking to could not fill out a packet because they couldn't get, and now I know they couldn't get their identity confirmed. But at the time they were like, yeah, I can't fill out the packet. I can't seem to get logged in. Can you just send me a PDF? So basically they were trying to bypass MyCarrierPortal. And at the time I didn't know any better. So I was like, oh yeah, let me send that. And then I just so happened to call that previous phone number under the FMCSA. Got the real carrier on the phone and I'm like, hey, I sent you guys a package. Need to confirm that, it's you guys. And they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. We're not talking to you. We're not trying to set up. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So right then and there, stopped everything, pulled them off the load. And basically that totally saved me. And so how I ended up at MyCarrierPortal was messaging one of our reps here being like, by the way, you guys totally saved me. You guys are the best, blah, blah, blah. And then kept talking. And then now I'm here and I get to help other brokers not make any mistakes and, have to put in these reports. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
What would this report and what does this look like though for a good carrier, one that you would actually, want to work with?
Yeah, let me pull one up here for you. So like these guys, for instance, they show acceptable. So if I'm on the phone with them, I know right away, yeah, I can work with them. Let's keep talking about the load. I'm not having to have any hangups at all. I'm not having to have my manager approve anything. They're good to go. Zero infractions. I have an overview of their insurance, no reports. They have 5 stars based on being set up with 136 customers. So they look good all the way around. So it'd be very easy for that setup process. I just hit this IntelliVite button, select who I'm talking to. More than likely it's this person. They've had their identity confirmed by us already. So hit send. They get that packet and they're filling that out usually like 1 to 5 minutes. And this is really where you guys come in, where they put in their payment information. And then I know at that point it goes directly into Denim. So I guess if you could show me what exactly that looks like on your side.
Yeah, let me take over sharing my screen and we will do that. Awesome. So activating your integration is extremely easy. Within MyCarrierPortal, all you have to do is go to your integrations tools page, add Denim as a partner, and then create your credentials. Then you want to take those credentials, go into your Denim web app, your integrations page, and you'll see MyCarrierPortal right here. Click connect, and then you want to add in your username and password right there. Now, you can also import just profile information or profile and payment information. If we're importing profile information, we'll take that and reach out to the carrier directly to collect a voided check or connect their account via Plaid, which is a very secure way to do so. However, importing profile and payment information is the real time savings here since MCP already collected it. And once you hit authenticate, now we're going to import packets on an hourly basis, ready for use. And if you really need to pay that carrier now, we actually have a pretty exciting announcement where before we had to wait, an hour to be able to get this information. Now you can search MCP directly by MC or DOT number. So if you go under contractors, add contractor, let's search by DOT number. And we pulled this directly from MCP instantly. So you can see that we got the company name, the country, the city, and the state, the IRS employee ID if they fill it out, and more importantly, the payment information. So if there's a factor assignment, we'll show that factor who we're going to be paying. If there's no factor assignment, we'll show the ACH details. So you can see the last 4 digits of the account number here. Or if they're paid via check, we'll show the check address so you can make sure everything's okay. We also will show the contact information, so first name, last name, phone number, and the invoicing remittance contact. So it's missing right here. So let's go ahead and add in paulwilliams@mcp.com. Select if they want quick pay or not. And once you hit add contractor relationship, you can immediately use this carrier for payment.
Well, that's awesome. So how would you say like it would help me the best or brokers the best with this integration?
Yeah, so once a load's delivered, it's go time, right? And while Denim can help collecting documents from carriers, auditing paperwork, and calling out discrepancies, and even sending out early invoices as soon as the load is delivered, if we don't know who to pay, we're kind of stuck. So getting this payment data from MCP really expedites this entire process and make sure that once you get that POD, you can submit the load to Denim and we can go ahead and send you your advance and send the payment to the carrier. We also have a carrier portal where carriers can log in without having to download an app, and they can see all of the invoices that Denim is paying for. So you can see those where the broker has submitted for funding. So basically right after the load's delivered, those that are expected to be paid within the next 30 days, those that are scheduled to be paid within the next couple of days, and more importantly, all the payments that have already been sent. So you have a historical view here that you can search, and all the information a carrier needs to be able to locate this specific payment, like the invoice number, the job number, even the last 4 digits of the account number for where that payment was sent. And over the past couple of years, we've gotten a lot of really good feedback from clients, especially those coming from other factoring companies where previously they were getting between 30, 40 calls per week from carriers saying, hey, where's my money? Has this payment been sent yet? Can you help me out? And by directing those carriers to this portal, they're getting that 30 to 40 cut down to 1 to 2 per week, which is pretty awesome.
That is awesome. I noticed on that dashboard it says customers too. Is there a way to like customize it so that like the whole team doesn't see all the information out there and just maybe only carrier reps see with the carriers?
Yeah, so in Denim, you have complete control over what your employees can and can't see. So under settings and then specifically team management, this is where you can invite all of your employees to Denim. They'll get a login where they can create a password, and then you get to go in and add specific customized roles for them. So let's say you have an accountant that needs to be able to sync QuickBooks, see full reporting, be able to get some remittance emails, and probably view jobs, right? But not be able to submit them, you can do that. If you have let's say an agent on the ground floor selling, prospecting, trying to bring in new shippers to your business, but you don't want them to see your existing shipper, your existing customer base, you can have them only be able to add customers and they can't see any of your shipper information in Denim. Now, for the example that we were talking about as well with MCP, let's say that you have someone in your account payables department. They're able to view the packets being automatically imported into Denim, those carrier profiles. They're able to add new contractors so they can pull directly from MCP by MC or DOT. And they probably need to be able to view all jobs and save them as drafts. So you want a 4-eye check, you want somebody to come in and actually review that job and approve it. This really lets you be able to lock down your sensitive information and allows you to strategically provide access to all of your employees without adding any risk to your business.
Perfect. So I guess how much time are you thinking this will actually save?
So we've had this integration live for the past couple of weeks. We've already imported over 500 individual carrier profiles from MCP, which is awesome. But the feedback that we've gotten from our mutual customers is this is saving at least 30 minutes per day in just manual data entry. Then you have 1 to 2 hours per day of not having to chase down any missing payment details. And while we do show all of your carriers that do have missing payment information, so they haven't accepted the invite and provided this information to Denim, so you can go one by one, you can resend the invite, you can call them up, but that takes time. And we've also gotten feedback that because The payment information is coming over with MCP. The carrier doesn't have to fill it out again twice. We're talking about quick paying an entire day earlier than they were able to
Wow.
previously. And at Denim, we don't charge a quick pay fee to brokers. Now, they can pass on a quick pay fee to their carriers if they want, but that goes directly to their margins. And so being able to quick pay as fast as possible is extremely important, and why we're very excited about this integration.
Yeah, definitely. I think that integration is going to make a big difference. I mean, on our side, preventing fraud, preventing the bad guys from coming in, and then for those good guys that do make it through and do haul the load, I mean, quickly being able to pay them and not going through the manual steps is going to be big.
100%.
So very excited for that. I guess we'll break it into questions. If anybody has any questions, feel free to put that in the chat. I think we have some in there now.
We've got a few. Danielle, do you mind kicking us off? So we had a couple of questions about VINs.
Yes.
I know Jasmine answered a couple, but do you mind just giving folks another rundown of how the VIN feature works and what people can do to use it?
Yeah, definitely. So I recommend just sending the link directly to the driver. I usually don't tell dispatchers about it until like I need to. But texting the link to the driver, how that will work is it'll go directly to their phone. They'll click on that link. It opens up their camera. They'll do the little allow access thing, and then they'll take a picture of their truck showing their VIN number. The link that they get sent to them, it expires 3 hours after you send it. So basically, they have to be standing right then and there with their truck sending that in, excuse me. And then instantly we pull that in, and we're pulling from inspections and from scheduled equipment under insurance. So that will show whether they're with this carrier or a different one. And if it is a different one, you can click on and go directly to that carrier profile. See, I've seen it where the other carrier profile has like double broker alerts everywhere, and they're just trying to flip MCs. So you can see all of that there and really prevent anything from happening.
Awesome. Ben, we had a question coming from Macy about how payment details go through payment settings changes within Denim, and how MCP and Denim work together on how those payments get into the contractor setting.
Yeah, so with MCP collecting the initial information, doing all of that verification, we ourselves are not collecting a voided check from the carrier. Now, they can fill out all of this information or give their business information and be able to get a link to be able to then see their payment history. But let's say something does need to change, their factor assignment changes, maybe their bank account changes, they reach out to you, you're able to submit that request within Denim. There is a review process because, again, with fraud, we want to make sure that this request is genuine. So we ask for the voided check to be able to verify this information. But the beauty of the MCP integration is that because the carriers are filling out the required information up front, we don't have to go again and say, hey, I know you provided this before, now can you do it again? And that's where we're getting the real-time savings.
Awesome. We had another question come in the DMs. People are welcome to send me a direct message if you don't want to post it on the board. Ben, question around reporting. What sort of reporting is available to people within Denim, and where can they find that?
Yeah, so under your reports, and let me go ahead and share my screen again. This time I will make it full screen. So you have full breakdown of your aging details, aging summary. Basically what that means is all of your payments that are being, all of the invoices that are outstanding for your customers. We give you complete control over making sure that you see those aging bands, right? And we have our own collections department. We are not chasing, it's respectful, but we're reaching out to your customers after about 30 days and asking, hey, can you send this payment, all the way up to around 90 days. But we also give you full transparency as well into the aging breakout, so you can also help with collections. And with DSO pricing, we're able to, if you get paid faster than the net 30, you get a discount on your factoring fee, which makes it to where both Denim and our customers working together to be able to get that shipper payment as fast as possible, help save everybody money, really. We have Denim Cash Report, which is basically a ledger showing all of the money going in and out of your Denim Cash, and your job summary, your payment summary, your upcoming payables, basically everything you need to be able to plan out your cash flow, both for payments that are being sent out to your carriers and money that's coming in from your shippers and your rebate, especially if you're factoring with Denim, along with your advance.
Awesome. Another question came in on pricing. maybe it's probably going to be particular for everyone kind of individually, but it'd be great maybe Danielle and Ben both if you could talk through for your respective packages, kind of what they look like so people get a sense of what they get. Danielle, do you want to start?
Sure. It goes off of gross annual revenue is how we do this. Everything's unlimited within that. So unlimited users, setups, monitoring. So you're not having any limits just because you had a great month one month and then getting like a surprise invoice. That does not happen. So going off of gross annual revenue, if you're like a newer broker, you get a discount on the first year. So it kind of just depends on where you're at. But definitely if you're interested, I'm sure we'll send out some information on that to get more pricing sent to you so you can see where you fall.
Awesome. Ben?
Yeah, so on our side, we try and get as close to a line of credit as possible without actually being a line of credit. And so what that means is you're only paying for the capital that you're using at any given time. So if you're delaying your payments, you get a discount. And with DSO pricing, like I said before, if your customer is paying faster than 30 days, you're getting a discount there. So really, it's just the money that you're using. And I think that's different than a lot of other factoring companies where you can start to add a bunch of fees, a bunch of different hoops that you have to jump through, right? We basically take your base fee and we want to reduce it from there, along with us not charging a quick pay fee, right? I think that's also something that sets us apart where you can optionally set and save quick pay fees. That's something that's brand new in Denim, where you can remove that amount from the carrier payable and it goes right into your margins. And like I said earlier, we're trying to make sure that we're padding and building your margins as much as possible. And you can basically offset your complete factoring fee by charging a quick pay fee. And then by delaying your payments and having your shippers pay earlier, you can really whittle down that factoring fee as well. And like John said earlier, it's case by case basis, right? We'll work with our sales team, figure out what works for you and your business. But that's where we can be more flexible than basically any of our competitors.
Awesome. Another question that came in, and this is for Danielle and Ben both as well. People have choice. There are a lot of options out there. Maybe can you give a quick pitch on what makes MCP unique and what makes Denim unique so folks know what they're seeing when they get into the market? Danielle, you want to kick us off again?
Yeah. So I guess probably the biggest thing, we've been around for a long time. So we've been through, lawsuits in the beginning. We've been through all the things. And so really our process and everything is set. I mean, everything's good. We have a large customer base. So that shared information as far as like the rating, those incident reports, even if like a customer has somebody on their do not use list or blacklist, that all gets shared throughout. So just really getting information. You're not just like on your own little island. Collecting information, everything's shared throughout. I like to call it like the MyCare community, kind of giving
Wait, I
information
love
as to
that.
what they're doing. I know it's kind
So
of corny, but whatever. So yeah, I guess that's what sets us apart, I would say.
Ben?
yeah, on our side, I know I already went through the pricing structure, but still leaning into flexibility. We like to work with our clients, right? And especially having an in-house development team, we're constantly building new integrations, right? To help save you time, but also updating our own web application to, again, help save you time. We want to make it to where as you scale as a broker, you're not having to just greatly increase headcount. And by having reporting that makes sense, by having a team that you can reach out to for help when you need it, and having adding automation where it makes sense, but not adding risk to your process. So really leaning into flexibility, an all-in-one platform where you don't even need to factor every load. That's something else that sets us apart, where you could potentially non-factor half of your book and then factor the rest of it when it makes sense for those maybe higher margin loads or customers that have way longer payment terms. And so by working with our individual clients on a personal basis, that's something that nobody else can really do.
I
Awesome.
agree with that.
Last question that I think we'll have and we'll be up on time. Can you share, Danielle and Ben, something that's coming soon that you're excited about? Danielle, you want to start us off?
Yeah. So what I think is the coolest thing, we're coming out with a bunch of new stuff this year, but my favorite thing is going to be the carrier app. So carriers are able to like quickly fill out packets. They can update their information. They actually can search brokers and find new people to work with, kind of building their relationships, and we're going to be a partner on that. So I think that just will make the whole process easier for them. And then, whenever you're a customer for us, you'll know that these carriers are really making things done quickly. So that's probably the most exciting thing we got coming out.
That's awesome. On our side, I would say, and I talked about it briefly, but quick pay, being able to layer in those quick pay fees and timelines so we can strategically set if you want to pay all of your carriers in their net 30, you pay them in 30 days, except for these 10. And these 10, you want to set to where I pay them in 1 day and charge a 4% fee. You set that one time, and we are going to, for every single load, apply those settings. And we've heard from direct surveys and conversations from our customers, it's going to save hours per week, and having just to have a spreadsheet with all of your quick pay terms, compare that to all of your loads, 4i checks and everything. I'm really excited to be able to not only deliver those benefits and time savings, but be able to help increase broker margins as much as possible.
And that's
Awesome.
definitely needed in this time of day.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for joining. We hope that as you're leaving, you're walking away fearless against fraud. Please reach out. I dropped some links into the chat. Follow us on LinkedIn. Send an email or a message to Danielle or Ben or I. We're happy to chat with you. Thanks for joining. Best of luck. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.